space for ourselves, it can be super challenging. I love teaching a restorative class because my mind is constantly going, and it forces me to kind of focus and be here, but I don't always take it, right? So it's a matter of just holding a space and slowing down. So with that being said, I would love to kind of get us started in a little supported heart opener. So if you'd like, you're going to take your bolster to the very back of your mat. And then you're going to line up your low back to the bolster. And we're going to take our blocks or pillows. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together and bring the blocks underneath of the knees. So the nice thing about the blocks are just depending on your hips this evening, you can make them higher or lower. The closer down towards the earth, the deeper this might feel. Higher up may be less intense, and you're going to start to lie back. Now, if this feels like too much, this is pretty intense in my body this evening, I'm going to come back upright. I'm folding my blanket, and I'm going to put it behind my bolster so it kind of raises the bolster up a little bit. And then I'll lie flat that way. So I want you to just ask yourself if you could be about 10% more comfortable, and just shifting in any way to make yourself feel at home, feel supported and nurtured, to hold this time and this space and this practice here this evening as an opportunity to just support yourself, to fill up your cup, and to take what you need. I'm going to guide us through a little deep breathing, just for the mind to have a focal point. And then I'll start to pipe down. So if you'd like, you might just start to allow inhales and exhales to enter and exit through the nostrils. Saturating the lungs with air as you breathe in, and pressing it all out of the lungs as you exhale. Notice where the breath is resonating in your body, what parts of your body are moving as you breathe. And just listening to that sound, the rhythm, the texture, maybe even feeling the temperature of your breath as it enters and exits through the nostrils. So if your mind starts to wander, I want you to know that that is normal and it happens, right? The brain is designed to think just like the heart is designed to beat. But we can either get lost in our thoughts and move out of this present moment, or we can just be kind and compassionate to ourselves, become aware, oh, there I am thinking again. Just come back to your breath, back to these sensations that you're experiencing in the here and the now. As we lie here just a little bit longer with our hearts open wide, perhaps collectively just setting the intention that we're letting go of any expectations for ourselves in this practice this evening. And maybe we even let that translate into life as we round out this holiday season, just letting go of the expectations that we place on ourselves. Allowing yourself to just enjoy this time, to let things just happen organically and naturally as they should. If there is any other intention that you're wanting to bring into your practice, you can welcome that in now. And then when you're ready, we're just going to slowly start to lift up one knee at a time. Place the soles of the feet to the earth. You can remove your blocks out of the way. And we're just going to roll onto our right side. So you're rolling off of your prop. And then you're just going to make your way all the way up. Stay on this right glute because we're just going to slide it to the edge of your bolster. So again, if you want to bring the bolster a little bit higher up, feel free to fold up your blanket and bring it underneath to the front. That might be a little less intense in our bodies. And if you'd like to take your second blanket, you might tuck it in between your legs. We're going to take a spinal twist here. So sometimes I just like that blanket as a little extra kind of comfort. We're going to rotate our torso towards the bolster. Take an inhale, lengthen through your spine. And as you exhale, begin to walk your hands forward. Let your torso slowly come to the support of your bolster. And you can bring your right cheek to the mat or to your bolster, or your left cheek. Left cheek might be a little bit more intense. So find again what feels best in your body and what's serving you tonight. Knowing that you always have the power to shift or to take something different if this doesn't feel good to you. Perhaps as we settle in here, just scanning through your body and noticing if there's places that we're still kind of holding on or tension that's creeping in. Lots of times it can show up in our face, in the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. Know that you're being held. You are supported. And give yourself that permission to just loosen that grip, to soften, to melt. Take about 10 more cycles of breath here. Gather another deep breath in and let it go. And start to just slide those palms underneath of your shoulders. Press the chest off of the bolster. And then we'll just come around to the opposite side so you can slowly just swing those legs around. You'll take that left outer hip to the edge of the bolster, support the legs if you need to. Cover yourself up with a blankie if you want to be a little warmer. And then just taking those hands, framing the bolster, slowly lowering down as you encourage that length within the spine. Noticing perhaps just the subtle differences that you feel from right to left side of the body. Just staying so dialed into this present moment. Thoughts can come and go like clouds in the sky. Can we allow conscious breathing to be our anchor right here, right now? We're always starting over and beginning again. It's no big deal to just come back, come home to your breath. Take just about 10 more cycles of breath here. Let's collectively take one more inhale in together and release it out when you're ready. Just bringing those palms, let them press into the earth, and take your time, slowly making your way back upright. We're going to go ahead and we're going to extend our legs long. We're going to come into a seated forward fold. If your hamstrings are feeling super tight, mine are this evening, I'm going to take one of my blankets and I'm going to roll them up. I'm just kind of placing this rolled up blanket right underneath my thighs, right above the knees. And that's just going to take some of the work out of the hamstrings. And then we're going to take our bolster and we're going to place it on top of our legs. And then you could use your second blanket. It might be a little softer to fold up to make like a pillow for your head. I'm going to utilize a block. Maybe your head comes right to the bolster. We're going to take an inhale, find length within your spine. Then as you exhale, just slightly tilting that pelvis forward, carving out some length in the low back. And then you can begin to round in the upper back. Let your head be heavy. You can allow it to come to whatever means of support you have underneath the forehead. And then just check in. Sometimes our shoulders want to kind of stay chronically crunching up towards the ears. Can you start to just find a little more spaciousness in the shoulders, rolling them away from the ears? Softening in the face, parting your teeth as you relax your jaw, letting the eyes roll to the back of the head, softening that delicate skin right underneath of the eyes. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, but just soften and support yourself. You have 10 more breaths here. 10 more opportunities to just come back if you've left the four corners of your mat. Take your time. You're going to begin to lift up one bone at a time. You can let the top of the head be the last thing to rise. You can roll through those shoulders for a moment if that feels okay, or maybe find a little crescent moon shape with the chin between your shoulders, or take any other kind of movement that might feel good to you right now. And then we're going to go ahead and move our props off to the side. Go ahead and just bend your knees for a moment. Plant your palms behind you, and let's just let those legs windshield wiper from side to side for a moment. You might even find that it feels nice in your body to drop down to the forearms and continue with that motion. All right. So we're going to set up to come back down onto our backs for supportive bridge. You might take one blanket, open it up like so, and then just do like a roll in, maybe two rolls in. We're going to place that at the very back of our mat. Our head is going to lie down on the flat part of the blanket, and then that little roll is just going to go in the back of your neck so that it'll go with the natural curve of your cervical spine. And then blocks, if you'd like, or the bolster. Bolster might be a little more intense this evening. So we're going to come down onto our backs, fit that roll into your neck. And then we're going to bend our knees, press into the feet, lift your hips up, and then just let your booty come down to rest back on your bolster. Those of you at home, if you don't have a bolster, a pillow will work, or a block. And then just find what feels good in your body with the legs. So for some of us, it might be to walk the feet to the edges of the mat and let the knees knock in. I personally love straightening my legs long and just kind of stretching through the entire front side of the body. Soles of the feet could come together, knees could come to the edges of the mat. Really, the possibilities are endless. So you explore and take what feels best in your body. And it might feel better to you to just straighten one leg at a time, and that's totally fine as well. And perhaps you want to explore taking the arms overhead or taking them out wide. Only you know what feels right in your body right now. I think so oftentimes we're searching for someone else to tell us how to do things. but intuitively, you know. It's just a matter of tuning in, and just like our yoga practice, it's that practice of trusting and listening within. We're going to bathe in stillness here just a little bit longer. If you'd like to explore shifting more into what we call waterfall pose, you might keep your booty supported by this prop, but just start to lift your legs up towards the sun. So it's kind of like the legs up the wall minus the wall. An effort meets ease, if you will. And just remembering that if you dabble in something and then it just doesn't quite feel like where you want to be at this moment, that you always have options and permission to shift and to take something different. Take about 10 more breaths here. Let's take one more deep breath in and let it go. Your legs are reaching upward. You can just start to re-bend into the knees. You might even take a moment to draw those knees into the chest, and you can massage your low back against your bolster by rocking from side to side for a moment. And then we're coming into our final resting posture, Shavasana. So you can drop your feet down to the earth, keep the knees bent. We're going to lift back up into that bridge. Take an inhale, lift your hips up, and then just press your bolster further towards your feet. You'll let your butt rest on the mat, and we're going to take this bolster horizontally underneath of the legs. I like to take my blocks and bring them off to either side of my mat and just rest my palms down on the blocks if you'd like. So the elbows are resting on the earth, palms can rest on the blocks. It reminds me of that like 1980s kind of styrofoam float, pool float. If anybody would like to be covered with a blankie, just give me a little wave and I'll come around and cover you with your second blanket. And by all means, if there is a different shavasana that's more comfortable to you this evening, you can take that. Feeling all this support that you've built up around yourself this evening. Allowing yourself to be held, nurtured, and loved by yourself.